Hey guys, welcome back to the Best Village Pod. I know it's been a minute since you've seen us, but that sucks because we've been living our lives, but now you get to hear about it.
I'm Jay.
Wow, how many seconds until you spoke?
A lot of them. Did you even say your name?
Oh, I'm Ruby, but everyone already knew that.
That's presumptuous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I have to update the people. For the first time in like almost 2 years, I don't have a boy like ruining my life.
How does it feel?
It's so boring. But also like I'm so stable.
Yeah.
And I have time to like I'm fucking killing it at work. My sleep schedule is good. I like started a newsletter. Like I have all this extra brain power to do stuff.
I have this theory that like you kind of need something to be just completely illogical and stupid in your life. Like to do stuff that's like unhinged and like just clearly a bad idea.
Yeah,
you need something to do. You need to like get that out of your system in something in your life. It can be in your friendships. You can be stirring up drama and doing
always, or just like at a certain point, then you can close the book on that and then you can be stable.
No, I think you kind of always need somewhere to channel your unreasonableness.
I mean, I'm like so not in my toxic era. Like I stayed in on Saturday. Like I'm not really drinking as much as I was. Like, I mean, last weekend I did go pretty hard at the club and everyone was shocked, but like it was such a wholesome night.
Yeah.
Like it's like Ruby did 4 shots after midnight and then just like had so much fun and went home.
I guess you could say that's wholesome.
Yeah.
At the club.
I was like with my friends.
That was as wholesome of a club night as you could have.
Yeah, there was no drama. There was no boys. Like there was no drunk texts.
Minimal mistakes were made.
I don't think I made a single mistake.
I mean, you could argue that taking 4 shots after midnight is a mistake.
But I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like I was aware of my actions.
It was an intentional mistake.
And I dealt with the repercussions the next day. I was drunk the next day.
You were drunk at Soul Cycle, right?
Yeah, I was my best Soul Cycle class.
No way. Your time and everything?
I mean, they don't track that anymore, but my Soul Cycle instructor was like, damn, Ruby, you were great today. I was like,
you're like, yeah, I'm wasted.
Yeah, I'm like still at the club. Like I never left. Like Paul's just
you like pull out the Zin out of your mouth. Yeah, thanks. Sorry, 1 sec.
Oh, that's the other thing. Oh, I guess there was the toxicity from that night. I did a lot of Zen. And I needed something to keep me going besides the alcohol.
Zen is rippling across Western society.
I'm obsessed with it. And like, I feel like I've said this before, but like, I was never a vaping person. Like I smoked cigarettes in college for attention. But I love it on the weekends. I'm not like necessarily addicted to the nicotine of it all, but like I love the little head high and I love
that is the nicotine, by the way.
The appetite suppressant.
Those are both
but I'm not
qualities of nicotine.
Yes, but I'm not like addicted to the nicotine. Like I'm not like jonesing for a.
Well, that's how it starts. And then you all of a sudden find yourself doing exactly that, jonesing for the Zins.
Do you know where the term jonesing comes from?
No, enlighten me.
Great Jones Street.
Okay.
Which is the street that Acme's on.
Right.
Back in the day.
No way it started from that street.
Yeah, my mother told me this.
No way.
Back in the day, in like the 80s, maybe the 70s.
FaceTime your mom right now.
She's on a beach drunk.
Okay, perfect.
She'll pick up. But that's where all the crackheads were. And they were always jonesing for, like they were fiending for something.
Well, the crackheads are still on Jones Street.
Yeah, but they've kind
waiting
of
outside of Acme.
They've come back. Like
no,
we
I
had
meant
oh, you mean like.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
The joke didn't land.
No, it didn't.
But that's where it came from.
Interesting.
New York is just.
There's all these like
iconic
the term little
86
stories.
86 came from. Should we talk about that?
86 Downey or something like that.
86 Bedford Street.
86
in the
Bedford.
West Village, where the new Frog Club is, guys. The new restaurant from the.
So I'm walking down the street.
Person whose husband owns horses, who mutilated cats. Continue.
Okay. One thing I know you can't do is mutilate cats. So whoever that was, they probably did not end up having a happy life afterwards.
They're like severely canceled. There was like a whole New York Times article about it.
I know. You just cannot do that to cats or anything really. I was walking down the street around the corner from my apartment and there's this guy in this like fur hat, looked like a former Soviet, like remnant of the Soviet era. And he was just smiling. And I was like, who's this man standing? It just looks so sus.
He's
Turns
a
out,
security guard.
He's the security guard.
He's the one who puts the stickers on your phone.
Okay, so can you walk me through Frog Club?
Okay, let's talk about Frog Club. Let's go from the
Because,
top.
by the way, no one does anything new anymore. Like, there's very few venues that are truly risking it all with a totally new concept.
I don't even know if this is a totally new concept.
Well, what's the comp to Frog Club?
Rainforest Cafe. The Rainforest Cafe is decorated with paintings of frogs, and so is the Frog Club.
Okay, so the interior.
Okay, so let's go from the top. The Frog Club is a restaurant that just opened by this woman named Liz. I'm forgetting her last name, who is her estranged husband, is the guy who owns horses.
Her strange husband?
Estranged.
Oh, estranged.
Strange also, though. Both works. She opened a restaurant at 86 Bedford, which used to be Chumley's, which was a speakeasy. And before that...
Chumley's? What's that?
Yeah, it was a speakeasy at 86 Bedford. It was a bar.
Oh.
But like a very famous bar. And before that, it was like a true Prohibition era bar. And that's where the term to 86 something in a kitchen means like you're out. So when the cops would come, they would yell 86 because that was the address and everyone would get out. So restaurants still use that to this day to 86 something, get rid of.
I use it for like bugs in the house.
86 that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's trickled down into
colloquial.
Yeah, usage. But they are being all mysterious about it. It opened a couple weeks ago. I like sent them a semi-threatening email. So I got in for like the first, one of the first 3 seatings. The food was just like absolutely not good. And
the food was not good?
The food tasted like Disney World food.
That's the first step to being in a successful New York restaurant.
Yeah. Also, I haven't shut the fuck up about it. The other thing is they're covering your cameras. If you are watching on video, they put 2 stickers on my phone. This big one went up here, and then the little one went on the front.
Wow, they get both sides?
Yeah, and there's like rules for the restaurant you'll get 86 if you do one of the following, and one of the rules is take photos.
Oh.
Even bathroom selfies, and I'm surprisingly a rule
This is
follower.
not giving me Rainforest Cafe at all.
Yes, but the inside, we're gonna go, is all paintings of frogs.
Okay.
And it looks like the
But did it like
Cafe.
work? Did the frog vibe work, or was it just weird?
It was weird. I mean, like, it was weird. The food
was it like a meme frog, like the Pepe frog meme?
Yeah. It was like a cartoon.
Or
frog.
So not like a
no, not like a literal like anatomically correct frog. It was a cartoon frog. Many cartoon frogs.
Like toads or frogs?
Frogs.
Okay,
Frog
interesting.
Club.
Do they serve frog?
No, they don't. But they have some things on the menu that like play into the frog thing. Like they have a green souffle.
Okay, give me the 2-line history besides the 86 thing.
Of what? Chumley's?
No.
Or of the Frog Club?
Frog Club.
I mean, there's no history yet. It's brand new.
Oh.
You mean like I don't know what they're trying to do. Maybe the no photos thing is their way of hiding that they have really bad food. But I have a friend who went last week and they said they were like out of half the menu. And when they're out of things on the menu, they just like stamp it with an 86 stamp. But it's like your restaurant's 2 weeks old. Why are you out of things?
Huh. Maybe their supply chain is
I know
struggling.
many people who own restaurants. Like they're fine.
Do we know the owners?
The owner is Liz something.
Okay.
I don't know. I met her. She came over to there. I made friends with
the waiter. Is she a lesbian?
I don't think so, which is surprising because all the
successful West Village restaurants are run by lesbians.
You can say that. I can't.
It's true. So you're not going back?
I mean, I am going back because people like to talk about it, and I like to stay relevant.
Okay, so like this idea of like doing something that's like totally out there and risky and reactionary, do we think it ends up as a gimmick, or does it end up as do you think this venue's around in a year from now, or relevant in a year from now?
Relevant, no. Around, yes.
In a more like tourists go there?
Yeah, it'll trickle down.
Okay.
Like I feel like right now, like when I went, it was all food people. Like Allison Roman was there, and it was like people from quality food group, Quality Italian. People from that food group were there. It was like, and then like the guy who started Jolie, the shower head, like it was like, it was facey.
Yeah. I do really, like I said, I do really want people to try new things and stop like just copy pasting other things from other places, or like redoing this, like slightly tweaking the standard West Village menu.
Yeah. I think the menu was like, the best things on the menu were the English muffin that the burger came on with the clarified butter, whipped clarified butter that it came with. So fucking good. Well, butter is my favorite food. Grub Street and New York Mag put out an article today talking about like how butter is finally being accepted as its own entity thing, and not something you just like put on other things.
That's disgusting.
You don't like butter?
No.
What about the passion fruit butter at Ruby's?
As like a garnish, but it doesn't stand on its own two legs.
I don't want to eat butter like by the spoonful, but I like to pick a vessel with because I want to actually taste the butter.
So to you, the taste profile of butter is enough to stand on its own.
Yeah, I'm also like not really in my bread era or like liking food right now, so I'm probably not the one to ask. I have an aversion to chefs. I have an aversion to food.
It confuses me that you're even in the industry that you're in and even like going out because you don't like food or bread or pizza or pasta or anything really.
Well, I like bread.
Okay, but you're not in your bread era.
I like drinking.
Okay.
And that's probably like 60%.
That's carrying it.
Of like the dining experience. I like being around people.
Talk to me about Community Cosmo.
Okay. The Community Cosmo came out of the only good thing to come out of my Frog Club dinner.
Okay.
So I went with 2 of my friends and we all ordered savory cocktails.
Okay.
A dry white.
What is Community Cosmo?
So
okay.
I ordered a classic gin martini. My friend Gabby got a Negroni, but I wanted to try something on the actual cocktail menu. So I was like, you know what? And a Cosmo. And then the waiter brought it over and he goes, a 4th drink? There's only 3 of you. I go, yes, it's for us to share. And he goes, a Community Cosmo. And I said, yes, a Community Cosmo. And we wound up getting a second, but the 3 of us shared this cocktail that kind of offset our savory cocktails because a Cosmo has a sweeter profile. So, and I don't particularly love a Cosmo.
But if you're sharing it.
Yeah, I like a sip. A nice palate cleanser.
I've never ordered a community drink before, I don't think.
I think like the idea of a community cocktail, like it's definitely like not good for like the COVID era, but like order a cocktail for the table and share it. A lot of people didn't understand. They thought it was like a larger cocktail. The thing you like was kind of like a punch bowl. But no, it's a regular cocktail that you just share. Wow. I did it again on Friday. I went to Red Hook Tavern and I got 3 drinks for 2 people. Okay, here's the over-under. There's a lot of new restaurants opening in the West Village.
Yes.
What we're going to learn in the next couple months is if they're actually new and doing something different or if they're doing the same thing just in another color.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's clear, like, to me, who's trying something different. It's more, what's unclear is if it's different in a way that isn't gimmicky and actually stands the test of time.
Well, Don Angie is opening another restaurant. It opened last week. I'm going this week for
What's it called
friends and
again?
family. It's called San Sabino. It's like...
San Sabino?
Yeah, it's like a fish...
That's cool.
Vibes, I think.
Fish vibes?
Like seafood?
Seafood.
Fish vibes. Seafood? Gabby put it in my calendar.
Is this a fish vibes restaurant?
And put a fish emoji next to it.
Or Italian vibes.
So that's, and then there's the place Demo that just opened on Carmine that was opened by one of the old chefs from Wild Air. And then Goldberg's Bagels just opened on Carmine, which is like a Brooklyn bagel spot. I think it started in Greenpoint and then.
Wait, what's it called?
Greenberg's.
Oh yeah,
I
saw them been there.
Huge collab with Hometown Barbecue. They did pastrami bacon
I saw
in
that
the
all
bacon,
over
egg,
Instagram.
and cheese. I want to like get a sandwich. We can all share it. And then the place Postcard.
If all these places just keep doing collabs, you don't even need to go anywhere to just try
I love a collab.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's so smart. I think it's a way to stay relevant. But on the opposite front, you can tell if someone's actually good at what they do is if they don't need a collab to succeed.
Yeah.
Like,
I always struggle with marketing in that sense.
It's like other people, like, to come to your restaurant
and
like,
save you.
Like, you're not it. But like,
if everyone wants to do collabs with you and you're saying no,
then you have a little bit more gravitas.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? Gravitas. Where did that come from? I haven't said that.
It's a great word, gravitas.
So long. I'm trying to expand my vocabulary.
You're doing great.
Thank you. Thank you. What's new in your life, Jay? We haven't talked about you.
I think we've established that I don't like talking about myself. That it's weird. I think part of the reason why I don't get social anxiety is because I never talk about myself. Maybe that's why.
I don't get social anxiety, and all I do is talk about myself.
But as a Gen Z, oh, that sounded so millennial. Now I'm like, I've been blindsided by the millennial thing so many times. Like, not everything I say is like, wait.
Do you have a millennial pause?
I did until someone commented on it, and then I completely erased it from my brain to pause like that.
I just need to pause.
Just gun it now on videos.
Yeah.
I start before it even starts.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Not that I'm making all these videos all the time. That's part of the problem. Millennials aren't like talking to the camera all the time, and so it's like a new thing. Yeah, but we weren't born on the phone.
Neither was I. I didn't get my first iPhone until I was 14.
Yeah, but smartphones were a thing when you were born, weren't they? No, not really.
The World Wide Web, wasn't that like...
I guess you're not as young as I thought you were.
That's so rude.
But there's a lot of social anxiety.
Yeah, the kids have social anxiety.
Yeah.
I worked through that one in therapy.
Mm.
Also, you can't go out as much as I do and have social anxiety. It's too taxing.
Yeah, you got to just drop it.
It was time.
It was time to drop it.
Yeah.
It only comes up for me whenever I talk about myself. I don't mind being perceived.
Okay.
It's just...
Because what people think of you is their own thoughts. Like, it's not anything.
Yeah, I've just dropped that part of it.
Well, it's kind of interesting that you have a podcast where you put things out.
But I've somehow managed to have a podcast but not say a single thing about myself.
Yeah.
Let's see how far I can push it.
What's that like?
Well, I can just like analyze you and like we can talk shit about each other and
I just like to be the center of attention.
Yeah, you just like being the center of attention so much that I can get away with pretending like I'm talking about myself but not actually revealing anything at all.
Interesting. Maybe I should use that tactic.
No, then the podcast would collapse.
Well, do you think I'm too self-centered?
Yeah. I do actually.
Wow. But then the podcast wouldn't work.
Exactly. So keep on doing it.
Beggars can't be choosers on that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a level of self-absorption that, if embraced and owned, is entertaining. You own it.
Performing. I do own it.
Yeah. Well, the problem is everyone kind of is self-absorbed by nature. Like, if you weren't self-absorbed, like, you just wouldn't be a person, I guess. But it's just about how much you decide to share that and like make it evident.
Yeah.
Are you having thoughts now? Are you questioning everything?
No, I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about what the next thing we're going to talk about.
Oh.
Even though this conversation is about me, I'm somehow bored.
Wow, that's a first.
What else is going on in the world?
Well, I was going to say something about me, actually, but I conveniently forgot it.
Sorry. Everyone be quiet.
Jay, it might come back.
Get the idea back. Jay's really into carpenter pants right now.
Yeah.
If you have any good brands for carpenter pants, comment below.
Well, I forgot what it was, so we'll come back. I'll think of it.
Circle back?
Yeah.
Okay. Last week, this isn't the West Village, but we went to Saracino's for dinner, and it was great.
It was amazing.
Why was it so amazing? Because, like, I didn't really eat that much.
You just drank?
I just drank, and, like, I feel like we were there for a really long time.
The vibes are great. The drinks are great. It's upscale. It feels
but I used to
very
hate
New York.
Mercer Kitchen, and I still have some residual trauma from my times at Mercer
Just
Kitchen.
how disappointed you were.
Oh my God. I literally, you know what? That's a bad restaurant that had bad food.
But good vibes?
No, the vibes were off too.
Well, the vibes are good.
Terrible.
The service, and so there were some things about it that were just not it.
Like one time the server spilled ketchup on my friend and then they like wouldn't dry clean it. The waitresses and the waiters.
They wouldn't dry clean it?
Yeah. They wouldn't like pay for dry cleaning.
Oh,
they were like, you shouldn't have been there.
You got in the way of my ketchup.
Literally, I almost started a fight, but
they wouldn't even like lick it off?
No.
No?
I was in college. They were probably like, those are some dumb kids. But like dumb kids who are paying. Like my dollar is worth the same amount of something.
Yeah, Saracino's is great. I think that place has legs. It'll last.
Yeah, I mean, we went there and then everyone else went.
Amazing location.
Yeah. We don't spend that much time in Soho, though.
I think in the summer, like Soho is a very summery, like it's a nice weather kind of
because you can
destination.
venture further from home.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like 10 blocks
and it's
further.
very outdoor, I feel like.
Yeah. I hate Soho. I've always hated Soho.
I love Nolita. Like it comes alive when it's warm outside.
But it's so crowded and congested and dumbass tourists who walk slowly.
Yeah, but
I have no
still like
patience
it.
for that. That's my biggest pet peeve. I have two pet peeves. One, slow walkers. Two, when waiters or bussers clear the table when other people are still eating.
That happens to me a lot.
Yeah,
I'm not paying attention.
It happened on Wednesday when we were at Bangkok Supper Club, and I almost said to the guy, chill.
Bangkok Supper Club.
What do you think of Bangkok Supper Club? We had a 5 top. We went on a Wednesday. We had a 7:30 reservation. We didn't sit till 8:15.
That sucked.
And to make up for it, they sent us desserts.
Which were off the charts.
The desserts were phenomenal.
I would just go back for desserts.
I do feel
Would that be weird?
I mean, they were all very stuck up. I would not want to deal with that just for those desserts.
Yeah.
I feel like we could get them elsewhere. But the thing is, if instead of giving me desserts, comp something I already ordered.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Okay. I have a idea.
Go for it.
A free idea. So I find myself in the position sometimes where I have either already had a drink when I'm out with friends or out on a date or something like that. I've either already had a drink or I don't want to drink. And I also don't want to do anything too crazy or like sit there, and I want to talk. I don't want to like be entertained. I don't want to like sit down and like not say a word and like watch comedy or something like that.
You want to be in a social setting.
I want to be in a social setting with another person or one or two people. I don't want to drink and I've already eaten.
Where do you go?
Where do I go? It's really hard.
That's where members clubs come in.
But even members clubs, like you have to like, it's weird to just go there and sit down.
You don't have to drink. I have a couple sober friends who are specifically members of like Zero Bond, for example.
Yeah.
So that they can feel comfortable
just
going and being out, but not feeling like they're expected to spend money on alcohol.
Yeah, but even if you sit down at Soho House, they immediately shove a menu in your face, and it's like a little weird to take up a table because the tables at all these places are limited. It's weird to take up a table, and it also feels like I want to go to a place that has like a point. I don't want to be like, hey, you want to go to this social club, and I'm like, and we just sit down. There's not like a thing that we're doing.
Like a pool hall or bowling.
Yeah,
I want to go bowling. I've been saying
bowling is a little intense and like niche. So my idea, to get to the point, is a restaurant or a venue that just serves dessert.
So a bakery?
At night.
Like a bakery?
At night.
Yeah, a bakery.
When was the last time you went to a night bakery?
I mean, I went to Rocco's and got cookies after.
That is a sports bar.
No. Rocco's, the original Rocco's, is a bakery on Bleecker Street, across the street from Murray's Cheese.
That probably closes at 5 p.m.
No, one time Justin and I were walking home from Holiday Bar at like 10:30 and we stopped in for cookies.
You pop into a bakery and you grab something and you go. I'm talking about a sit-down restaurant.
I'm going to take you to Rocco's. Your mind's going to be blown.
Great. I'm talking about a sit-down restaurant. You sit down and all they serve is dessert, nothing else. And you can get a drink if you want. You don't have to, but it is the main event is dessert. And you have to get a table. And of course they're going to have great drinks too, but you don't have to drink. You can sit down and you can order.
But what if you don't want to eat dessert either?
Well, then you're just fucked.
Okay. So you have to have some vice.
You have to have some vice.
Whether it's sugar or booze.
But it's like an event, like, cause like, I'll be like, oh, we should go get ice cream. And I'm like, ice cream, you just pop in, grab a cone and pop out. You can't sit really. And it's not like an experience.
It could be.
Let me know what you guys think about that.
I feel like there are places that fit that bill.
Like what?
I mean, I'm thinking about like John's drive-thru. And John's
I'm talking about an elevated Dairy Queen. A sit-down elevated Dairy Queen. Fuck. I think it's a good idea.
I love vanilla ice cream with
and like sweets just sell. Like there's like when I used to live in LA and in San Francisco,
people
the
on the
place
West Coast
with the biggest line on any given night was Salt and Straw, which is an ice cream place.
Oh.
Like line down the street.
I guess Van Leeuwen on like West 10th and Waverly
during the summertime
is
forget
around the
about
corner.
it.
Another one on Hudson.
Forget about it. Also, Van Leeuwen needs some competition, actually. That just made me realize.
Well, there's Ample Hill
and Morgenstern's.
Morgenstern's is like they don't make you leave real quick.
Yeah.
That used to be the Silver Spurs diner, so they have a good.
I want a waiter or waitress. I want to like sit down.
Waited on.
Yeah. I want like this place that you have to make a reservation, maybe even.
Somebody do that, please.
Yeah, someone do that. Preferably within 250 feet of my house.
Really? That close? Don't you want to walk off dessert?
Yeah, walk a little bit. Yeah, it can be.
You're going to want to walk off dessert.
Half a mile.
You're not going to want to go straight home after you eat dessert.
There's like a gym in the back of this place as well.
You need to digest a little.
Yeah, true. It's a free idea. Take it or leave it. Feel free to roast it or evolve it, remix it, whatever you want to do. Any other ideas? Should we start a cat club?
Like the animal?
Like frog club for cats?
I don't really like cats. I don't really like animals.
God.
Everyone knows this.
You have an endless list of things you don't like.
Correct.
Do you maintain this list anywhere?
No, just when it comes up. Like, I've never really liked animals. I think I was like conditioned to not like animals because I grew up in Manhattan. So I would never ask for a pet.
Do you consider yourself a control freak?
Sometimes. I am a very controlling person, and I constantly try to control people. And that is one of the hardest things to do.
Well, because some people like to control the situation. They like to make sure it's all within their comfort zone before they commit.
I do.
They need to know all the variables.
Set up my whole life to be like that, right? Like at a certain point, I don't need to set up every scenario because like everyone kind of knows my.
You know, actually, you're not a control freak.
Really?
No. I do agree that I think you try to control people, but that's different. It doesn't work. It's kind of people are fundamentally uncontrollable. That's not true, actually.
Actually, you can control something.
Oh God.
If you want to know,
not recommended. But when I think of control freak, I think of someone.
I'm a puppet master.
There you go.
Puppet master.
You control the control freaks.
Yeah. Well, what I do is I think one of the reasons like I was put on Earth was to be a connector and to connect people.
I thought you were going to say manipulator.
Well, that comes with the time. But I try to connect to people every day. I talk about this all the time. And when you are the person, when you're
I'm just kidding, by the way.
People, I wasn't.
Okay.
When you're in a room with people and you're the reason that they all know each other, who's in charge?
It's giving. Okay, I'm not saying the it's giving thing anymore. It sounds like.
It's giving. Zach hates it when you say that, when I say that, when everyone says that. But who cares what you think?
It is very puppet master, though.
Yeah. There should be a puppet.
When you think of yourself, what do you like? What do you see? Like when you visualize yourself, do you see yourself as a puppet master?
I see myself standing behind a smaller curtain. I'm life size and controlling.
Yeah, and is it working for some people?
It's working pretty much for all people. I was thinking the other day how like Jay was giving me shit earlier about how like I have a really hard time walking away from people, but on the reverse, people have a really hard time walking away from me.
Well, if you have a lot of puppets around, then it's kind of hard.
Exactly. So, like, you know.
I'm thinking I'm just going to ask you all the common, like, psychological tropes or whatever. Mm-hmm. Do you think you have abandonment issues? Oh, am I a control freak?
See, this is something, guys, sometimes I'm in a conversation with people and I realize it's all about me. So I have to remind myself to ask them about them. So are you a control freak?
Good job. Step one of being a good conversationalist. Am I a control freak? I don't think so. Not in the way that term is typically used. Because to me that...
You go with the flow.
Yeah, I go with the flow. I go with the flow. I'm actually probably on the extreme end of that spectrum. Go with the flow.
You're adaptable.
I'm adaptable, yeah. Okay, I don't really care. Like... Things going outside of the way I was envisioning it, even if it's pretty drastic, doesn't really bother me unless like the food that I ordered has sesame seeds in it.
Well, Jay is deathly allergic to sesame seeds.
It's not deathly.
It's not?
No. I don't even have an EpiPen. It's just annoying. especially because all my favorite
Caesar salad
foods.
the other day, and it came with tahini dressing, and I felt so bad.
I mean, I'm not going to eat it.
I know, but I would have just like not ordered it.
See,
Also,
that's what I don't want. I don't want you to go like so far out of your way.
But it was also a bad salad.
There you go. That makes me feel a little bit happier. It makes me feel good right here. But yeah, I'm not a control freak. I don't think. I do like when people like me, I guess, but that's a normal thing.
Nature. I don't think that has to do with being a control freak.
The second question I was going to ask you is if you think you have abandonment issues.
I don't have like classic abandonment issues, but like, and I am aware of this because I talk about it in therapy. Like there are certain like emotional like roller coasters my parents took me down in my upbringing that like if something plays out like that in my romantic life, I am incredibly triggered by like when I want to talk about something, I don't get to talk. Like if I'm fighting with someone I'm dating and they won't let me like give my piece or they won't speak about it when I want to speak about it, I shut down. Because my mom like used to get mad at me and then like not talk to me about it.
That's valid. I mean, that's not abandonment issues, but that's valid.
I don't think I have abandonment issues.
Yeah, it's funny to me, or not. It's not funny, but
Not funny.
it's interesting to me that people can have abandonment issues even when they have never really experienced abandonment from their parents or anyone during their formative years.
I mean,
but then you experience it one time in your life in a relationship or in a friendship, and then you're like, all of a sudden, you kind of have abandonment issues, even though like your childhood was fine.
When I was in the 7th grade, a girl that I was friends with in the 6th grade came up to me on the first day of 7th grade and said, I don't want to be your friend anymore.
No matter who you are and what your childhood was, that just sucks.
And since then, when I feel like my friends are slacking or I'm slacking with my friends, whether it's because like life's busy or it's the holidays or like everyone's home for Christmas, like I am very when I feel like I have no friends and I feel like my friends don't want to hang out with me, even if it's literally just in my head. Yeah. I'm extremely impacted.
Which most of the time it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that basically, I mean, that sounds right. I mean, it just sucks to like be left behind by someone that you care about or you didn't want to be.
So I don't even think I liked her that much.
Yeah.
But like, it was just like, it was all about my ego. Everything comes back to ego.
Also, I think it's really impressive. I don't know if impressive is the right word, but it's notable that we can go from like West Village restaurants to abandonment issues and like that.
We can just talk about everything.
Just jumping around.
Yeah.
What if this whole podcast is me just like getting little crumbs out of the fact that you go to therapy and I don't, just squeezing out a little bit of therapeutic juice from your
so that you can better
just
yourself?
Guys just getting a little bit of therapy.
Do you want to come
indirectly
to therapy tomorrow?
Can you imagine?
My therapist, actually, I recently made her a face sheet because she would get you and Justin confused just because I'd say Justin and Jay. Like, in the same sentence.
And we're both from Texas and we both live together and
yeah, it was just
a bunch
like
of Jays
and I was just
around.
like, Jay is podcast, Justin is drinking. And then
Jay is podcast, Justin is abandonment issues. Just kidding.
I showed her photos of you guys. So
okay.
Now she's like,
so you have like a visual map.
Well, yeah, now she does. I'm not a visual person like that. Like I don't need a face to remember a name.
I kind of like that. It's like the podcast kind of ends up being a indirect therapy session masquerading as a restaurant review podcast for guys that don't want to go to therapy, but still
is there a
care about
why don't you go to therapy? Like, are you afraid?
Did you just ask a guy why he doesn't go to therapy?
You're not the first. You won't be the last.
I feel like as many memes as there are about like guys will rather do this than go to therapy, like they're very rarely directly asked that. Like, why don't you go to therapy? I don't even know if I have a good answer.
Yeah. I feel like you've probably never like thought past like.
You know, I actually think a big part of the reason why I don't go to therapy is I'm so skeptical that I'll find a good therapist on the first, second, or even third try.
You probably won't.
And that's just...
It's a taxing...
That's just...
My current therapist I've been with since 2018, so we're coming on 6 years. But before that, I had 5 therapists.
Yeah. I don't want to go through that process.
My current therapist that I have, I was actually placed with, like, another therapist evaluated me and then placed me with someone in the practice that they thought would be best for me.
Yeah.
Like, and that's a privilege.
I also just like, I mean, we've kind of talked about this before, but I also don't respect my heart and my emotions as much as I respect my brain and my rationality. And I don't think a therapist can really...
It's kind of sad.
I know, it's kind of sad. And also, like, it's weird because I also think that the real puppet master is your emotions. Like, your emotions, even if you think you're being rational, like, at the end of the day, your emotions are the driver.
Circling back to that, I feel like I should tell everybody, because we talked about it like 3 episodes in a row. My seasonal depression is gone.
Really?
I mean, I'm great right now. It wasn't like immaculate. It was like over time.
So we have until June where you're
June is going to be another crash.
That's so interesting to me.
I don't like change, and there's no bigger change than spring to summer.
Really? It's like hot to hot.
It's not about the temperature. It's about the patterns of life.
Interesting. Like
people
getting off school, traveling.
Summer.
Yeah.
I live somewhere else. My friends live other places.
So it's like abandonment.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, a lot shifts socially. Like your rhythms get thrown off.
And like also like by the time summer happens, like we have our routine in spring, right? Like
spring is just the most unreal, especially in New York. It's just the most unreal.
Like even on Sunday, like it was gorgeous, and I got a whole cycle.
I could get used to that.
Call from Justin, like come meet us. Like I sat outside with you guys. We walked on the West Side Highway. Like then I bopped over to Brooklyn. But like,
it was you and 8 dudes or 9 dudes. How did you feel?
Unfazed.
Unfazed.
That's like very Ruby.
Not only was it 8 dudes, people were roasting each other. And you kind of got caught in the crossfire a few times.
I was probably roasting everyone too.
That's true.
When have I not roasted?
Yeah.
I'm a grill master. Some people cook in the kitchen. That's where I cook.
I grill in the kitchen.
I was fine. I mean, my mom texted me and she was like, "What's up?" And I sent her a video. And she was like, "Are you with 9 guys right now?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "That's my kid." Like, growing up, I always had guy friends. Like, I'm really close with my dad and my brother. Like,
yeah.
I played on all boys sports teams, like baseball, like whatever. Like, I can just like chill.
Yeah. You can chill.
I'm also like, I would actually, some of the things.
You can dish it out and you can take it.
Yeah. And I enjoy that. I like the camaraderie of fucking with each other.
Yeah.
Because I do think I hurt David's feelings a little bit.
I think you did.
But I really don't care.
He was dressed like he was going out. And it was like 11 a.m. What?
Put on the woven shirt?
We had a little fashion talk. He's going to be fine. We're going to get him resituated.
You talked to him, right?
I talked to him,
not
yeah.
Somebody else.
I took him aside, put my arm around his shoulder, and I was like, we got to get you some different clothes.
Yeah. Justin has been consulting on my fashion.
Has he?
Yeah.
I think Justin has great fashion sense.
Yeah. Well, not
it's
my fashion.
It's a little out there sometimes, but I think it's in the right direction.
Not my fashion per se, because I have great style, but how I choose to show off my style. Like, like, have you ever heard of the, like, girl concept where it's like if you wear a little pant, you have to wear a big shirt, or if you wear big pants, you have to wear a little shirt.
All these unspoken rules.
He's like, Ruby, remember girl math. Like, no more baggy pants and a baggy sweatshirt.
Remember girl math.
Remember girl math.
What is girl math?
Girl math is, I bought an $800 plane ticket that I then didn't use, so I have $800 in my JetBlue account, so if I then book a flight, it's free.
Well, you heard it here first. That was a great example. I was ready to go. You're a girl mathematician.
This is what happens when you don't have when your happiness isn't tethered to a man. You have more brain power to think of examples. More brain power to do everything.
Also, how do you... I just realized that, like, sometimes it'll be months before I even realize a TikTok trend is a thing, which is just kind of like defeats the purpose of a trend. How do you like keep track of TikTok trends? Do we have like a segment on the podcast that just like
TikTok
educates people on like what is going on right now? And
I mean, sure, what's going on TikTok right now?
But how do you even like keep track of it?
It's just in my brain. Like I probably spend like 5 hours a day on TikTok.
Do you really?
Yeah, I scroll for about 2 hours before I go to sleep.
Really?
And in the morning, I probably scroll for an hour.
Wow.
And then like throughout my day to day, like if I'm in the back of a cab, if I'm on the subway, like if I'm bored at work, I'll
you're
scroll.
just ingesting all the trends.
Yeah. Like and it's interesting because for work, I can tell when I'm like really invested in TikTok, when I'm not, based on like how quickly I can hop on the trends. Like there was a trend on TikTok that was like, oh, it's going to be so hard to explain. Regardless, I like adapted it to the body account like in a day and like ended up doing really well.
Well, some of them like stay niche and some of them just like go bananas.
And then they also like take on like a world of their own. And then there's like many different phases.
Remixes of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost feel like there needs to be a TikTok account, and there probably is.
There is. Okay. That's saying this is trending right now. Use this audio.
And a podcast that recaps other podcasts and what's going on in podcast land.
This way you don't have to
maybe we should have a segment for that.
Okay.
Like here's what you missed in all the other podcasts that you could care about.
I'm bored.
I would listen to that.
I wouldn't.
Do you know how many podcasts there are?
Yeah. But there's no a reason I don't listen to them.
I mean, surely some of them have
like
good
I
stuff.
only listen to one podcast. Oh, two.
Which ones? The Toast?
Yeah.
What's that about?
It's
like giving speeches?
Claudia and Jackie Oshry, Marco's older sisters.
Oh.
They have a pop culture podcast that they do every single day, like every weekday.
And they record every single day?
Yeah.
They have enough pop culture to report back on every single day?
5 stories. And then like they fill it in with stuff about them and like their jibber jabber.
They have 5 stories every single day. Is that their full-time gig?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And then like they do like influencing on the side, and like Claudia works.
Influencing on the side.
I mean,
yeah,
like,
influence on the side.
Like brand deals on the side. It's pretty phenomenal. They've been doing it for years.
If you think about it, being an influencer is a pretty like presumptuous thing.
Like to call yourself one?
No. Just to say like, I am doing things righter than you are, and you should do it this way instead of your way.
You mean more right?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I mean, I don't feel like influencers think that they're doing things more correctly than others. They're just speaking loudly, like
louder than others.
Yeah.
But you're kind of like the undertone is you should do this. You should be influenced by me. Yeah,
I mean, like I feel like everything I do is right, and I try to influence people.
It's true.
But I'm just influencer adjacent. That's what they said about me.
And you are presumptuous.
Always.
So am I.
Okay, kids.
Okay, I think that's it. Thanks for listening. This was another episode of the Best Village podcast.
If you're looking for more, you should follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
If you're looking for more of us to sustain you for the rest of the week until the next episode,
subscribe on YouTube.
And stuff.
And stuff. And walk around the West Village and yell our names. We're probably there.
And physically grab Ruby.
Don't touch me.
Or, yeah, don't do that.
Bye.
Bye.